Hi everyone, I'm Professor Chirag Variao from the Faculty of Applied Science and Engineering, and the purpose of this video is to share with you some of the lessons that I've learned over the past few weeks in transitioning into an online teaching experience. So I'm an instructor who's never taught online before, but over the past few weeks I've come up with a couple of tools and strategies, and I bought some hardware and learned some software that hopefully will help us transition into wonderful online instructors as well as our in-person personas. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so this is the first time I'm doing something like this, and I hope that the lessons that I've learned can be shared with you so that you can learn from my mistakes. So hopefully we can put together a wonderful experience for our students this fall and winter. So let's get through this. So first and foremost, you're probably seeing me as a person with a kind of a whitish background and kind of transparent. So my hand goes right across the content. The fact of the matter is there's actually a green screen behind me, and there's some lights in the corner, and there's a separate microphone that I'm using, but I want to go through all of the hardware equipment in a basic form, and also some of the software that I've learned to use for this work. I think that, you know, as our students can watch us, can see us talk and kind of do some of the hand motions and point and all that sort of stuff, I think that helps build community. And one of the priorities that I have for teaching this fall especially is to try to build as much community as possible for these online courses. So let's get right to it. You see I have two slides, but I want to create as clear material as possible. So let me go to this second piece here, and that is some of the hardware that I'm using. So feel free to at some point pause this video if you want to type that into your internet browser. You can see the actual hardware that I'm using, but I'm going to go through these one by one so that we can see what this is all about. So over here is the microphone that I'm using. It's on a boom with this thing called a pop filter, and so any like p or b or kind of those sorts of sounds are filtered a bit, and then there's a separate microphone here. So this is a condenser microphone. Over the past few weeks I learned that there's a condenser microphone and then there's directional microphones. So again, I'm not a professional, but I've come to learn that condenser microphones are far more sensitive to what you're saying, and for my purposes they're a bit better. And this is directional, right? So you can move it around, and it's connected with USB 2.0, so that'll just plug right into a computer, and a computer will sense it, and then you can adjust the volumes on your computer as you'd like. Anyway, so that's the mic that I'm using. Highly recommend it. I'll show you what that looks like here. So here we go. As you can see, I could just move this over. And a fun part, apparently, is I can point to things, right? So like, oh, picks up crystal clear audio. And interestingly, I can actually move the screen around, and I'll go to the software in just a moment, but I can also move myself around. Not to get too carried away. Alrighty? And you'll see a little bit of the mic here on the side. Anyway, so I got this off Amazon. It was $94 with shipping. Not to say one mic is better than another, but this is just what I'm using, and it works for me, and maybe it'll work for you too. Anyways, second thing, lighting. So I thought I had pretty decent lighting. You know, I'm sitting next to a window. There's some lighting in the room and so on, but I figured, and after talking to some of the photography friends who know photography, they said, you know, there's nothing more important than light. And so here, let me turn off these cool lights that I have, and I'll show you what they look like in just a moment. But look at the difference, okay? So here's one of my lights that are off, okay? I'm going to turn the other one on. You kind of get the idea here. Boom. Look at the graininess in the image as the computer tries to compensate for the lack of lighting. So here I'm going to turn one of them back on. Cool kind of shadowy effect here. And I'll turn on the other one. Okay, so nice and bright, nice, well lit. And so what I've learned over the past is that there's umbrella lighting, and then there's these soft boxes. Again, terminology I had no idea about. But I'm using two softbox lights. And what that does is it kind of has a fluorescent bulb, and it's through kind of a translucent filter in a way. And it's shooting it up at the wall at a 45-degree angle. So one is being shot up this way, another one over here. And that light bouncing back, and it's hitting my face. So trying to reduce some shadows. And you can probably see that I wear glasses and stuff. So these cause a lot of reflections if the lighting isn't aimed particularly well. Anyways, so that and the background I'll talk at the same time, you'll notice that the links are the same. So the background that I'm using is actually a green screen, and this green screen comes in a kit, so the lighting and the green screen comes together. So there's 2 stands on either end. There's a cool green screen behind me that I use then a steam cleaner to kind of take out the wrinkles and so on. But with that, the program that I'll talk to you about in just a moment will detect the green screen and kind of erase everything else in the background. My wife jokes that I can kind of say what the weather is like and so on with the right background. But anyways, I'm not into that business. I'm an engineering prof, so not going into that area. Anyway, so let's take a look at what that looks like online. So that's my second link here. Okay, so Canadian company, local, pretty good. So as you can see, I got 2 light bulbs. These are the soft boxes, and come with a little filter up on top. Carrying case and stuff doesn't really mean much to me, to be honest, and so on. It didn't take me more than probably like 10 minutes to set up, anyways. But it's a pretty good kit, and it comes with a black background and a white background too, if you end up using those things. But I just use the green screen so you can see the words kind of around my head here. I thought it makes a difference. So this is what I'm using. Again, feel free to click on that link if you want. So webcam. So I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have the webcam just yet, but this is the one I'm going to be getting soon. The webcam that I'm using right now is the one that's built into this laptop that I'm recording on. So most people are like, oh yeah, webcams are great, why need a second one? Well, the one that's built into this machine, and this laptop is a year old, it's a IBM ThinkPad X1 Yoga. Pretty good machine, right? But the webcam is 720p, so you might see some gradients and so on. But anyways, here's a webcam that I found online. I thought it was pretty good. It does 1080p, does autofocus, all that sort of stuff. But again, the video that you're seeing right now is on the built-in webcam, and it's working okay, I guess. But if you were to get a webcam, this one's pretty good. So let's look at the extras. So the extras, it depends on what you want, what your needs are. In my case, because I'm teaching first year, I teach the first year class APS 100, Orientation to Engineering, and also a computer programming course, coordinating and teaching both of them. Got a lot of students, okay? So, and for the first year students, quite honestly, they haven't really been to campus. They're not going to get that experience that a normal first year student would, or well, any student would, I guess. And so what I'm planning on doing is kind of holding a stabilizer and kind of walking through campus and kind of narrating the experience a little bit. But the video is too shaky. Nobody's going to really enjoy it unless they like those kind of Blair Witch type experiences for filming. So here we have a DJI Osmo Mobile 3 on my cell phone. So I use a Samsung Note 10 Plus. The cool thing about this, minus the whole crazy reflective backing of the phone itself, is that it's stabilizing things, right? And so I can actually hold it upside down, and it'll, whoops. I mean, it would actually stabilize itself. Oh, it went into the other mode that I was hoping that it wouldn't get into. Anyways, okay, so phone not mounted. So this is interesting. Let's make this into a teaching moment. Technology doesn't always work the way we want it to. So anyways, the thing is, you put your phone on top of it, okay? You turn on its Bluetooth. Whoopsie. Let's try this out here. Okay, turn on its Bluetooth, and once the Bluetooth is on, what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to connect with this stabilizer thing. Okay, gimbal roll axis movement limit. Okay, so here we go. I think it's pretty good. Okay, it's off now, and let's turn it back on. Please excuse the... There we go. That was pretty cool, huh? So what you're actually seeing is that it's in portrait mode. You can change it to landscape mode, or even a standby mode. Okay, and so the thing is, this also has a little trigger, and basically what you can do is, once you find a target, so in my case, if you're kind of looking at me here, you press the trigger, it'll know who you are, it'll put a little box around you, and it'll follow your face around as you're moving. So it's nothing too crazy, but it'll keep it stabilized and so on. Anyways, it's like depending on what your interests are. It comes with a little tripod thing here, so that's useful. I'm going to put that to the side. So let me talk to you a little bit about the software. And I don't have a slide for that. I'm going to actually show you what it's like. So the thing that I'm using is actually the software called OBS. Okay, OBS. So let me move this over here. You're going to see a picture inside of a picture inside of a picture. Okay, so this is, whoa, pretty crazy, huh? So what I'm going to do is just, the bottom of this, there's a plus sign and minus sign. The plus sign basically indicates what you want to add. So audio input, your display capture, image, or all that sort of stuff. So you can add, a video capture device, so webcam in this case, or an audio capture device if you have a separate microphone and so on. I've kind of set up my features here. I'll probably make another video to go over the software in a bit more detail, but quite frankly, it's, you put your capture device, your display capture, and that's a good place to start, right? It's fairly self-explanatory after that, but there are a few tips and techniques that you can do to change things up. For example, if you get on video capture device, I pressed the plus button, and when you do that, it'll say a bunch of these things. You click on chroma key. When you do, this type shows up. So it's a green screen behind me. That's why you can't really see the background. There we go. Oop, magenta, blue. Oh my goodness, scary. But with green, see, it kind of eliminates the background. You can kind of customize that too. You're probably seeing me looking over here because I have a separate monitor here where all of this is actually being recorded. Now, if I bring that back to my original monitor, it's like I'm looking right down the barrel at the audience. So, you could play around with these things as you'd like, to each their own. But these are some of the hardware-related lessons that I've learned so far, a little bit of the software side. And depending on what the demand is like, maybe I'll create another episode. I didn't want to make this too long, just a short getting started. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope that these lessons help. If you have any tips or comments or suggestions, feel free to let me know. You can email me too if you want. It's my first name dot last name at utoronto.ca. Going back to our original side here. Great. Thanks, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.